From intense training to matches with the pros, this is what happened when I trained at the best academies of the world in Madrid. This year I've decided to start competing on the pro circuit, aiming to break into the top 800 players in the world. So to take my game to the next level, I spent a week training at the best academies in Madrid. My first stop was Manu Academy. Manu currently trains some of the best players in the world, and his academy was a short train ride from the centre of Madrid. And I joined for pre-season. Every training session starts with Manu breaking down the focus for the day. Whether it's tactical play, technical drills or match scenarios, there's always a clear goal. Here you can see us doing a pretty standard warm-up for about 10-15 minutes at the beginning of the session, followed by a drill involving quickly moving backwards to attack the vibra, aiming for our opponent's feet. And you can see here me having a few battles with Anna, whose level was extremely high. Obviously she's 36 in the world, so you could really see the quality in her shots. And the coaches don't stop, they feed quick, and you've always got to be on your toes. So you've got to focus all the time and keep a high level of intensity throughout. Then it was on to some basket drills, vibras and rouleaus. Here just thinking about varying the attack so that your opponent doesn't get too comfortable. And then just progressing that drill into a slightly more dynamic one where you hit the volley and then you quickly move back to hit that overhead. That movement is so important in padel. And we also practice some smashes. This can be quite tricky in winter when the balls aren't necessarily flying quite as much as they would in hotter conditions. But I was just focusing here on getting a good connection, hitting a little bit of top spin and driving up with my legs. And this is another drill that we did at different times during the week, focusing on hitting the chiquita and then an accurate lob. So either bringing it to the opponent's feet or driving them back with a high ball. And then of course, some match play scenarios at the end. After sessions, it's time to refuel, so here you see me in a big bowl of pasta before my second training of the day. Starting off with another light warm-up, just that back and forth movement. And sometimes we get some one-on-one time with one of the coaches. Here it's Manu, just giving me some tips on the volley.
To down and into the front. Because now you're hitting the ball, but you're in the same stage. It's like from up, and I want the ball to come from up to down. And every time the ball rebounds at the back glass, it has to go below. Because if you're hitting the ball up and your opponent is hitting the ball below, you should be attacking. So you try to keep your opponent always below the net.
Then it was time to practice it in 2-on-1 match play situations. And when I wasn't volleying, I was working on my defense. The coaches really emphasized the importance of hitting to the body or to the feet and waiting for the perfect time to play the lob when you get the chance off the wall. And here you can see me playing against Alex, one of the top pros, in another 2-on-1 exercise. And then we finished off with a quick tie break. All of us were pretty tired, so there were a lot of mistakes, but it was good to get some match practice in at the end. Then I headed over to Rodri Ovide's academy at Padel Sensei to get a session in with Gonzalo.
Control. Okay.
We started with a control warm-up here,
Perfect.
aiming for
Try
the
to flex
targets.
a little bit more. Perfect. Amazing, Luis.
And then he gave me some tips on my smash.
Come there, so you can see better. When you are hitting the ball, you are hitting here, so it this happen. The ball doesn't go up. You have to make it above. Perfect, that one. Forwards. Much better, that one. Did you notice the difference? The ball. Perfect. Perfect. Well done.
And then we worked on hitting a little bit
Perfect.
flatter on my vibro, which sometimes lacked a little bit of power.
Perfect, Luis. Go, go, go back. Okay, did you see? Too much, yep. Perfect, Luis. Perfect. Amazing, Luis. Continue.
And practice some
Perfect,
lobs.
Luis, very nice.
That's a shot that I never practice, but it's extremely important.
More.
Here the focus was on driving up with the legs and making sure that I wasn't hitting the lob too deep so that my opponent could simply hit a powerful bajada off the lob.
More distance. You were too close that in that ball. Very good control.
And we played a few cross-court points to finish.
Go for it. That's the ball. Perfect. Ah, sorry. My fault. Amazing. Let's continue. Very good, Luis. Well done, Luis. Well done, Luis.
And then the last academy I visited was M3 Academy. And the first drill we started with was just a simple defense situation with the volleyers placing their volleys nice and controlled either side of a marker. And I was focusing on staying low, compact. And then in this second drill, the volleys started to go a little bit further away from us, and the defender had to use the side wall and the back glass to stay in the point. One bit of feedback I got from the coach here, which was really important, was that I was taking too many steps moving into the side wall, which was leading to me hitting the ball a little bit close to my body. So you can see here I made some adjustments and actually began to hit off that side wall a little bit better after that. And then it was time to transfer what we'd been learning into a match play situation. Session would be complete without some actual tie breaks at the end. So after some great training sessions, that was the end of my week. With my legs burning after a few days of training, I headed over to the Hexagon Cup to catch some of the pros in action. Let's just say that Momo Gonzalez was incredible in this match. At Manu's Academy, I liked the fact that it's quite small because it gives you time with the coaches, gives you a chance to get to know the other players, and it doesn't feel like too overwhelming at the beginning. But obviously, you know, if you train at a small academy for long enough, that could get quite samey. You know what I mean? For some people, they want bigger academies where they can meet new people all the time, where they can try different groups, where they can move courts. So it really depends on what you like, and that's something that happened more at M3. There's a bit more like it's just bigger, and you might have different coaches. You might meet different coaches all the time, so you get different input. But again, some people might prefer more focused input from one coach. So it really depends what you like. And then the other place was Padel Sensei, which is a club also outside Madrid. It's where Rodri Ovide's got his academy. And I just did some private sessions with Gonzalo, a coach there. And I was really impressed with his attention to detail. He really broke down the different kinds of smash. But again, that's a cool club. It's a little bit smaller, but I mean, the level of players there is insane as well. You saw Gemma Triai training on the court next to me. I think Martito Ortega was there as well that day. M3 is obviously a much bigger academy in that there's so many coaches and there's so many groups, so many players. Obviously, it's much bigger, so it can feel a little bit overwhelming at times. But the coaching there is also very good. Really good drills, I thought, and some match play as well. Drills just focusing on, again, specific patterns and movements that are important in paddle. Whole body hurts. They train in a way that helps when you then play matches, because matches and other like more simple training will feel a lot easier because they put you in such difficult situations. They kind of want you to suffer a little bit. They put you in very difficult situations and cram a lot of information and stuff going on into training. And that means that when you get to a match situation or something, those situations can feel a little bit easier because you've been training like an animal, basically. Yeah, you can't let your standards slip because you're training with professional players usually, so they demand a level of commitment and also a high level of quality from in your shots and focus when you play. And that's also another thing, like it's just mentally tiring training like this indoors in winter in Madrid. You've got to keep your focus a lot. I'm not complaining. I love it. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, it's just it's quite a lot.